There's been reports all over the US that men are breaking up with women over their stances on the Lindsay Clancy case, where this horrifically twisted woman took the lives of her 3 young children in cold blood. And as mentioned, we're seeing a number of just completely unhinged reactions from some of these women. Some, on the more extreme end, are treating Lindsay Clancy as if she's a hero. On the less extreme end, some of these women are condemning what Lindsay Clancy did, but acting like she's the victim here, not the 3 children. Now, of course, there are also women who are fully against Clancy in every way and fully acknowledging that the victims are the kids. And to those women, thank you for being good people. And to the good mothers out there as well, thank you for being good mothers. We need more of you. With that said, we've got a number of clips to go over, so let's get started. That Star Wars girl would post, "Every person I've seen who supports the murdering psychopath Lindsay Clancy looks like an absolute wacko. Every single one of them." That post responding to a clip captioned, "Ladies, if you don't support Lindsay Clancy, you are the ones who are brainwashed."
The women who support Patrick Clancy and who are totally against Lindsay and think she's a monster are male-centered and given to red pill rhetoric bullshit.
Red pill literally has nothing to do with any of this. There's no reason for her to bring that up. That's really weird. Like, instead of looking at the case and focusing on how horrible it is, what these kids went through, what they had done to them, what they went through, the things that they had to see and experience in their final... There's so much stuff I could say here, and I'm trying not to because it's very disturbing. But, like, you know, my point is, instead of her focusing on the kids and thinking about them, she's using what happened to them as some sort of talking point against red pill, which, again, isn't even relevant here at all. Completely unhinged person.
Nobody will ever convince me otherwise. You can argue with the phone because you will not change my opinion on this. Those of us who have ever dealt with a narcissist or been in a domestic violence relationship can see right through him. Like, the evidence is insane that it wasn't fucking. She did not kill those kids and she did not try to herself.
I love how she's trying to talk about, like, dealing with narcissists. Lady, that's you. That's you. Look in the mirror. Go back to that Star Wars girl, you know, thankfully she's calling this out. I'm going to read this one more time, then we'll move on to the next clip. She said, "Every person I've seen who supports the murdering psychopath Lindsay Clancy looks like an absolute wacko. Every single one of them." In the next clip, we've got something wholesome here, actually, as this gentleman is standing up for kids and protecting them.
Hi, my name is Quinn Pratt, and I like going around on the internet and finding people who are in childcare services and say that they thought and fantasize about taking their own children's lives, and I report them to their employers. And today I got confirmation of a few of them who've been fired. So Maria F. from Utah, you were a babysitter. You've been fired. Leslie P. from Massachusetts, you were a babysitter and you've been fired. Gabrielle V. from Texas, you were a nurse. You've been fired. And Jocelyn L. from New York, you were a nurse and you've been fired. You see, being part of the whole conspiracy theory of Lindsay Clancy and that her husband actually did it is neither here nor there. But when you post videos saying that you too have had thoughts of taking your own child's life when you are in childcare in some sort of way, yeah, you have no business being around other children. Thank you to everybody who sent me these videos, because these people have no business being around children.
So, you know, it's not like these women are getting these thoughts and then instantly dismissing them, thinking like, oh, that's messed up. What's the matter with me? I shouldn't think like that. They're fully embracing it. Like, they like those thoughts. They're fully embracing it. They agree with that stuff. And then on top of it, they're recording videos of themselves promoting that sort of rhetoric and being like full mask off with it. Like, there's so many layers here of how disgusting it all is. We've also got Shoe on Head calling all this out once again, now responding to a post from Leading Report from 2 hours ago where they said judge to allow jurors to convict Lindsay Clancy on manslaughter charges if they choose. Obviously, that would be a greatly reduced sentence in comparison to what she actually did and what she actually deserves. Minutes ago, Shoe on Head went off responding to that news, writing, "Lindsay Clancy admitted she did it. There's no evidence it was her husband. She was never diagnosed with postpartum psychosis or postpartum depression. She had plenty of resources and tons of help. More help than most women in worse situations have had. She purposely told her husband to go on a long errand so she would have enough time to do what she wanted to do. She planned all of this out. In the middle of doing this horrific stuff, she managed to take a phone call from her husband and sound totally rational, then go right back to her so-called psychosis. She was not failed by the system or her husband. She failed herself, and most of all, she failed her children. She was the person meant to protect those babies, and she betrayed them like an evil demonic bitch from hell. She deserves to rot in prison or worse. Premeditated murder being quote-unquote manslaughter is insane. But there's 12 women on the jury, so I won't be shocked if they fall for the, quote, she's just a sad little girl, unquote, guilt trip her lawyers pulled at the end there. If Lindsay Clancy isn't held accountable for her actions due to, quote unquote, hormones, it sets a precedent that women will not be punished by the law the same way men are punished because, quote unquote, hormones. And I shudder to think about the copycat cases that will come from this if she is not found guilty of murder. Yeah, it's bad enough that horrifically sick people like that are even mothers to begin with, like those poor kids to begin with. And then even more so if Clancy gets off easy and these women are already full mask off about what they want to do to their own kids. Like Shu said, it's horrific to think about what that might lead to. In the next clip, we have the postpartum content on TikTok is getting completely out of control.
You know the postpartum intrusive thoughts are getting bad when you're baby wearing and you walk past one of these tree chopping, terrifying devices and you imagine yourself like tripping and the baby shooting out of my carrier and flying into the tree chopper when it's on. Just me or anyone else?
I'm not really going to fault someone for having intrusive thoughts. It's what she does next that I will falter for. Like, what she should actually do next is dismiss the thought and think like, hey, that's messed up. You could even laugh a little bit at the absurdity of it, right? But then right after, she should be like, my poor baby, I would never actually let anything happen to you. But instead of that, she keeps the thought, decides to turn it into TikTok content, like record this ridiculous video and upload it. In the next clip, we have a woman crashes out on live TV and almost starts crying, defending Lindsay Clancy.
They should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Oh my God! They
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their
misogyny.
children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering.
I'm done.
These are man-hating women that are standing outside. This is what it's about. They think the husband did it. They're crazy. They've lost their mind.
Do you know why the
They're
woman is
waving
in a
for a
wheelchair?
murderer?
Do you know why the woman is in a wheelchair? Did you even notice that she's
Couldn't
in a
care less.
wheelchair?
She's a murderer.
Because she jumped out the window after this
So
happened.
she should have. I'd have pushed her. They say that Lindsay was in psychosis. I think these women are suffering from psychosis. They've been watching too many true crime Netflix dramas. You know, this was a incredibly privileged woman, incredibly wealthy. She had a nanny, and she's still complaining that she needed help. She could not have got more help from the system that she already have received. This is a murderer who strangled her children one by one. One of the boys ran away, and she chased him down and killed him.
Laurie Watkins.
What you just said was absolutely disgusting.
Thank you.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you.
And you can hear that he's not. Okay?
Why? Because it's true.
You clearly don't care, so pipe down.
I don't care. And by the way, men watching this, if you have a woman sat next to you on the sofa who is defending this murderer, you got to think deeply about this. I've seen weddings.
So we need to have some empathy with.
Talk to your women and find out what are they thinking. They're defending this woman. It's
I don't think
insane.
anybody's defending what she did, but you can have empathy for what she went through.
It's just insane that these women, they keep just thinking about Clancy. They don't think about the kids, like I said. And it's very difficult for me to talk about this. I apologize in advance if I start messing my words up. It's like I said in the very beginning. You need to think about, and when I say you, I don't mean you, the viewer. I'm talking about these women. They need to think about what those kids went through, what they saw in their final moments. Again, it's very difficult to talk about this, but they had to see their mom go up to them and do these unspeakable things to them. And these women, they just don't seem to even care about that. They're incapable of actually thinking about the kids and their perspective and what a nightmare it must have been. At the Lindsay Clancy trial, there was this woman who's apparently a reporter. You'll see right here in the green. And she's been making the news because she's, as you can see, standing there smiling. And it's just like, okay, even beyond smiling, she's doing like this weird face into the camera and everything. Like, what is this? Literally, what is this? This was her response to the online backlash.
Like smiled and winked into the camera. Did you know you did that and why?
Well, no, I was laughing because I grew up with Lindsay.
You did?
Yeah, so she looks at me and I look at her and I'm like, but it wasn't that. My dad had saw previously on Court TV and he said I looked bad. So I was like giggling.
Are
you know
you
what I mean?
serious?
Yeah. But he was like, you looked so bad in the photo earlier. So I'm like,
That's
I'm good
terrible.
friends with. I know, but he's funny.
It doesn't matter what her excuse is. You don't act like that at a trial like this. Again, it doesn't matter what her reasoning is. Just completely inappropriate. And then the woman that's recording her is like affirming this nonsense. Well, that lady is apparently named Brittany Romano and was working with Vanity Fair, but after she got all the attention online for her behavior, they decided to go separate ways. To which Romano took to social media and posted that, quote, "A smile is not a crime," unquote. Yeah, unsurprisingly, she's not able to grasp any of this. No, in her mind, now she's probably the victim. This is all about her. I'll leave it there. That is the latest. Thank you all for tuning in. Be safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.